Something that a lot of my newly minted students are doing these days is taking like their first little cross-country flight over to my house and looking at the Kylo in the grass. So I thought it would be a neat idea to make a video about just how to do that from right out here at the Spring Hill Airport. Now, I've presented myself with an obstacle here. I've got the little bit of wind in my face, I've got this taxiway, and then there's an immediate drop off. And I'll probably be launching as that hill rolls off. I don't think I'll have the speed to take off before I get there, but I want to be ready that if I sink out and come down toward the ground, that I've got my feet down and I'm able to take those last few steps before it's time to go. So that's what I'm going to do. Just want to talk you through it. I would have my students launch elsewhere, of course. Clear. If you just prepare yourself mentally for what's ahead, it's not such a difficult thing to do. Got a little wind. Let's go for it. I'm finna drop a bomb on Mark here. I picked up a whole bunch of grass on the way, so I don't have a whole lot of fuel, so this is also going to be an exercise in fuel management. What I want to do is keep my throttle like just a slow climb and save my altitude, save my fuel. Shenanigans have already cost me a little bit of it. So the first thing that we want to do when we leave the field is make sure that we can penetrate. And it looks like we can. There's a bit of turbulence. The road and the ditch down here is our next bailout option. So we're going to accept that, and we're going to keep climbing and heading this way. But I'm going to keep my glide into this ditch here. Hands up for maximum efficiency. And we are going to keep going up. Oh, David's up. Good job. I'm going through a bit of turbulence. It's probably just a wind gradient. I don't think the thermals are this high this early. And I'm also noticing my speed slowing down. That's my ground speed. And that brings us to another factor. So we're going to accept this bailout, this road here. The next one is up ahead. It's Miss Bobbitt's field. We're going to keep penetrating this way until we can get there. I want to be high enough that I can get back to these bridges or to that next field. So I'm just going to fly and continually calculate in my mind what's next. Now there's a pseudo bailout in between these bridges and that field up there, and it's this cutover. I guess you can see it maybe. It's probably big enough you can see it. Looks like a speck. Anyway, that field, that cutover, there's a road that cuts through it, and I've studied it from the ground, so I know that I can actually accept that as a bailout option and get in there and land safely. Although it would be a hassle to get out of there, it would be a safe landing option. But really what you want as a new pilot is right here on these bridges or over here at this field. That's optimal. That's what we're looking for. Now I only took off with 2 liters of fuel, so I've done some high power climb out. I'm gonna look and see how much fuel I can see. Okay, there's just under 2 liters. That's cool. I'm just gonna kind of go into a cruise power setting here. I don't really want to climb anymore. I want to stay level. I'm high enough that I can get to the bridge easily, and I'm looking for that transition point where I can get to this next field. And because I'm into the wind, I'm going to keep this bridge bell out. Even when I get way past it, it's still going to be my option. If I have a motor out, I'm going to immediately turn around and go for those bridges. Even if I'm over here on top of this cutover, I probably will go for the bridges just out of the sake of easy retrieval. Oh, I can feel the warmth coming. The day is getting warmer, for sure. So yeah, I'm still committed to the bridges, but I've got this bailout in sight right here. I've got enough altitude that I can make it. Now it has grown up quite a bit. It's almost to the point now where it is not an acceptable bailout option. I can see a tiny little gap where I'm gonna land, but that's it. It's just the one gap, and that's all I've got. There's nothing else. Everything else is like 10-foot tree, but there is the old road where the trees are not 10 feet, and I would land and pick my glider out and be able to walk right in there to the road to get out. So I'm going to go ahead and accept that. That's my landing option. It will be a crosswind tree rotor landing, but without a doubt I could hit it. The next option I'm looking for are these fields up here, and I'm going until I see that I can glide to it. Now I know what the glide is on this swing, and I know that I can hit that closest little field right there, right now. I'm not fully committed to it, but I am inching that way. When I get to about the road here, I know that I'll be able to hit that field or the field behind it at this point. Okay, we have more than easily enough made these bailout options right here. I've got this huge field on the right side of the road, and I've also got some fields here on the left side of the road. Now, I know where all the fences are, so that's something that I'm aware of. But I'm also looking to the next bailout option, and it's going to be this field way out here to the left. But I'm not going to turn north yet. I'm going to keep going into the wind before I make my north turn. I'm still pushing east at this point, as you can probably tell by the sun shining right into my camera lens. So I've changed my angle. I'm actually flying due east as far as my heading, but my track is actually to the northeast. So there's a pretty stiff headwind up here that I'm feeling right now. And I've still got this field right here accepted as my bailout, but I'm going for this one over here. So I've got enough altitude that I'll be able to get to either. And at a certain point, I'm going to switch over to that one. You can see my crab angle, right? So now I'm fully committed to this field. Now there's just like a few little ones on the way to the house. The next field is this little one that's enclosed in the trees. There's no power lines in it. I've got this field made, so I'm going to turn back into the wind. I'm going to use weight shift only to keep my efficiency up. No braking. Braking is a destroyer of flying efficiency. Weight shift only if I can, and I just did. So now I'm going back into the east, so I'm penetrating a little bit, and I'm still aiming this way. I'm keeping my bailouts behind me. I know where I can go, and that's what my aim for. So I'm aiming for this one now. Over here, there's this little square field. There's nothing around it. There's a trail that gets in there. There's no road to it. So that's like not the optimal bailout, but it's a safe one. It is tucked away inside trees, so you have to be on your landing game. But my next option are these big fields right over here. And these are the fields that are right behind my house. So at this point, I've got a lot of options. I've got this huge field right here. I've got a huge field behind the property. There's a huge field to the north of the property. And that, my friends, is Kylo Field. And I'm going to get down just slightly lower and get a look at it. While I'm gliding, I'm going to do another fuel check and see just how much we burned on our little cruise. Okay, I'm at 1 liter. And I was into the wind the whole way, so I had 2 liters to start with, and I made it here. So, oh, there's a little turbulence. That is acceptable. So I should burn this last liter up on the way back to the airport, and maybe even run it out of gas and land at the airport. We'll see. Yeah, so there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Kylo Field. Home sweet home. Dream come true right there. Worked real hard for this place, y'all. And then I wrote my name in the yard. I know, it's kind of weird, but there it is. And then from here on out, it's just a reverse. I'm going to keep the same bailouts, and maybe we won't have to use any of them. I don't know if you noticed, I'm flying kind of sideways. I'm pointed this way, but I'm drifting way over here. So I actually had a pretty stiff headwind out of the southeast. It was kind of a crosswind flight. I sort of crabbed over to the house, and now I'm crabbing back to the airport. I'm down to 1/2 liter of fuel, but I've almost got the glide to the airport now. And it's sort of a trade-off. As I gain altitude, I lose penetration, but also gain time and glide, and it's just all around better to get higher. I would probably hit Miss Bobbitt's field from here, just because it's an easy retrieve. And then the bridges, not so much. I've got a shady place to store the glider, etc., etc. I don't have to put it on the side of the road. So let's actually look at the fuel and see how much we have. Yeah, literally 1/2 liter. But again, I've almost made it, so I'm home free. Even if we completely lost power right now, I believe that I would be able to glide to the field, actually. So I'm just going to keep on going this way. I see David up there. I've gone down to idle because I believe I've got the field made. Not a big deal at all now. So now's the age-old question, where do I land? The ground is still probably covered in dew. I don't think I'm going to be pulling this glider out much this afternoon. So I might land on the concrete just so I can kind of keep the glider from getting wet. And I want to try to get it somewhat close-ish to the truck. That's a secondary objective. The primary objective is to make a good landing, avoid aircraft, and avoid... Oh, David's above me there. Okay. Nice. Yeah, I'm just hands off, kind of gliding in. This Moster Silent glides so good when I let off the power. It still's got the idle thrust, so it's no drag, and my glide is extended. If I was in the Moster Plus unit, the spinning propeller would slow me down. I'm checking final one more time. I don't want anything messing with me there. Look at it, I arrived at the field with plenty of altitude. I see that the windsock is actually indicating some wind, so that's all good. I'm just curious how much fuel I've burnt since I've gone to idle, so I'm gonna check that when I've got some altitude. Oh yeah, at idle it doesn't burn any. That's nice. All right, so let's check our wind direction. Up here it's out of the southeast. I'm looking down there to see what that's indicating. The big one's lying to us. It's telling us that it's north-northeast, but it's not moving. I see this little ribbon down here and this little ribbon down here moving. So that gives me a lot of intel. I'm going to plan my approach so that I come in sort of over these hangars and just land right out here on the apron. Maybe I can hit it. We're gonna see. The wind appears to be almost straight east, if there's any. There's just not much to speak of, but the little bit that is there is coming straight east. There's the turbulence. I'm gonna reach high above these pulleys, and I'm just gonna do some gentle turning out here. And this is an advanced approach. I'm going over obstructions, there's wires, there's concrete, everything that a new student probably would want to avoid. I would have a new student land right out here in the field somewhere, preferably where it's cut grass. Go deepish brakes. Come over here over Mr. Sales' house. Still a little high for where I want to be, but I've got 2 more turns to make. I don't want to crash into that airplane hangar right there. All right, and I'm committed to my landing. Power off. Maximum speed into the wind. Looks like I'm gonna be landing right out here by Mark on this concrete. And flare, 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 flare. There we go. Can I keep it from going in the grass? Can I? Can I? Can I? I think I can. I think I can. Ha! No grass. No grass and no gas. I don't know if David is doing a landing or an approach or a pass. We're gonna find out. How do you seat, dude? No, you're going around? Nice. The grass got stuck in my cage. I heard some of it hitting the propeller, but it was just like some grass. It's not going to cause any damage, I don't think. Yeah, I don't feel anything weird. Where'd I put my bag? There it is. I see it. Inside the cargo trailer camper mobile. I could refuel and go again, but I'm still kind of tired. I really didn't sleep much last night at all. Literally. David doing practice approaches, I'm guessing. Look at all the hay out here, the grass. That's where I did the bomb drop. It was raining. There's some chunks of it, and that's what I dropped off the machine. That's hilarious. Oh, I hear it scraping. I don't like it. I want it up. Much better. Up. There we go. Got it. Completely dried out glider. Lay it in the bag. Pull these tips around a little bit. Turns out that I did not film an outro for this video. But that's how it is. It's turned into kind of a pilgrimage, so to speak, for the new students. They take their first little cross country. There's been a few of them who just want to go see the Kylo. But that's how you do it. That's how you fly from the airport to my house. Hope you enjoyed that. Much love, everybody. Kyle out.